services, we do them because we think they ought to be done, I guess. We do them because we want to do them. We're doing a few things. The first thing we're doing is...
This guy's really strange, Steve Jobs. 28 years old, it says there, 1983. I look at him, when I first see him, straight away I see his face. He's either Federer or some relation to Federer or something. He looks exactly like Federer, except Federer, you know, what's his name, Roger Federer, the tennis player. Although his face is more scrunchy down, like he looks a bit more like he's had some bone or palate removed from his face, and he's sort of like this. I just wonder, like this might be a real stretch for some people, but the way he talks, the way he looks like this neighbour of a friend of mine years ago, who used to just hide away in his house and then just come out every now and then and walk over and talk to us a bit, then go back into his house. And my friend had one of the first, like an Amiga computer or something. It had like the Three Stooges game on it and stuff like that. And we didn't see them very often. They were just family, friends, dad knew. And, you know, I just wonder if there's, because of my past, has there been this whole conspiracy around me I didn't know about growing up? And it's sort of like, it's like flying into space. I remember going to space once in a previous life, and it's like when you fly into space at hyperspeed, you know, I was sort of the person that Buzz Lightyear was based upon. I had a cat I put in the cockpit and everything, like the new movie. And it used to spin its head around and go meow, 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 and tell me answers. Like it was part of the spaceship, but it was there to amuse me, so I feel happy, and it worked. I was quite happy when I got back. It was funny. I was laughing the whole way, actually, the way it used to behave. This cat, I think it was called... it had a funny name, not like cat. It was something like Obi-Wan Kenobi or something. It was a word like that, like the Star Wars name. It was something like Cato Baloney or something. It had a funny name. I can't remember exactly, or I don't really want to say. But yeah. But I remember at hyperspeed when there was this kind of Buzz Lightyear test pilot for spaceships that never really got off the ground. I got out there and found there was nothing out there, and I got back and I said, there's a future out there, it's not written, we haven't done it yet, so there's nothing to find. I sort of got back and said there's nothing out there. I knew sort of what I had to do was create it, so I had to put back the God together and go and build it all. So I've sort of done that now, but back then when I was in hyperspace, you know, it was like, I'll just put the light on. It was like you see your life happening while you're doing it, and all of a sudden, you're in the future, all of a sudden, sort of like thinking ahead, but you're already past it. So by the time you catch up with where you're at, time's gone past, and it's almost like you're in the future, but your life is further back in the past, slowly trying to catch up to where you're at. You move so quick, you know. You've gone boom into the future, hyperspace, faster than light, and then all of a sudden, oh, I've got to try and catch up to myself. You know, all this is happening, and I don't know where I'm at or what's happening or anything. That's kind of like what it's like when you start a new life and you've had this past and you've been famous all through history, and there's this kind of conspiracy around you, I suppose, that no one else believes because they're trying to cover it up, or you know, they don't want you to know what they're up to. And I think maybe this guy was Charles Manson, and he's had a new life. He's stayed in this house, and someone's helped him. I don't know who. Maybe someone I know. I don't know though. Like, this is just what I'm realizing. Is sort of like trying to catch up to where I'm at. Maybe other people know and I don't know, and I was sort of like left in the dark here. You know. I just wonder, is Steve Jobs, he's very attached to computers and the sort of work I was doing in my previous life, you know, maybe he's sort of come along. I I don't know if he deserves it or whether he was just supposed to or whether someone's stolen what I've done and I missed out, someone trying to steal it from me, or give it away to other people like him and Bill Gates and all these other people who just turned up all of a sudden, with all these politicians to sort of mess up in the mid-'80s, and this is 83, just before it all sort of happened. He's sort of saying, come on, we're doing computers, can everyone come and help? It's sort of like just before the big 1984 sort of Brave New World, Aldous Huxley sort of big change that happened where everyone they wanted to spy on everyone, get all the information. Maybe that's what it is. They decided this is the book we're going to do because that's the book that gave us, in the early 90s, one we had to study at school. So I just wonder if this guy's Roger Federer and did all this to win Wimbledon or something, I don't mean to put him down, and maybe he deserves it, but I hope he hasn't done all this so people look at phones and he'll take their brain waves and use them to win Wimbledon. It's kind of a bit sort of cheating in a way, isn't it? Or maybe it's there just to develop Hawkeye or something, or some computer game he's working on, or some other thing. But I think deceiving the public. Why don't they just say, hi, I was Charles Manson, I'm Steve Jobs now, and I'm doing this work. Bring it out in the open, be honest. Then you don't have to jerk people around, and they'll soon forget about the old Charles Manson. You can put that away. That's why I'm honest about my life, because it doesn't hurt to be honest. At first, people might be upset. They might not understand. Explain what you're doing, and people will say, all right, well, fair enough. I will support you. And it will just make life easier for everyone, and might not threaten his life if they find out, If you cover things up, people will find out. They'll be angry, But if you deal with it first and not let it catch up with you, like time travel or travel to space, it all happens too fast and it catches up with you. If you're honest, it'll be all right. But if you're not, if you're deceiving people, it'll catch up with you. It might take your life. So I just worry for people. Where's Steve Jobs disappeared to? You can't tell me someone that smart died of cancer or something. No, I don't believe that. I think he's wandered off and become someone else, like a tennis player or something. Maybe he's had a different sort of, dream to live out, desire to be a famous tennis player. He thought, what else can I do with my life? I made the greatest phone in the world, iPhone, and I've got nothing else to live for, or, so that's what he's sort of doing, maybe. I'm just assuming, I'm not saying it's true, but it could be. Like, he looks a lot like, he talks a lot like Federer. Maybe he's gone to a foreign country, married a foreign woman to sort of cover it up and look really different, but I look at his frame, he's the same shape, he's quite long, thin, long fingers. I don't know, I just wonder if he was Charles Manson. I have this feeling Federer's Charles Manson, I don't know why. He's lost weight, he's sort of gone back to his youth, and maybe Charles Manson was like the neglected, abused, sort of war-torn sort of version of himself. Maybe he's over 100 years old or something, and he sort of has a new lease on life or something. Or I just wonder about people that live a long time. You don't know. They change their identities, and I just think, be honest. God, why hide it? You live with all that guilt in your stomach, and you got to confront all these people all the time and pretend you're someone else. Or I just quite understand why they do it, but maybe they're doing it the right way, the way women like it. The women like the danger and all that, and they go after these guys. But I just want to meet that woman who's nice and friendly and appreciates people who are honest to their face. I'm not going to be like that, all conspiring and lying and making shit up. Because you can still be a badass even if you're honest, and you don't have to be deceptive and destroy other people's lives and ruin people's lives just to get ahead in life. I mean, why can't you just be a good person, be honest, and tell people what you've done? I think people would be proud of him to know he might have been Charles Manson. He's come out and done all this, been Steve Jobs, and then become a Wimbledon champion. It's quite an achievement. But to lie about it, if that's true, it'd be better to be honest, and people would be more amazed, I think, to know that he's done that. And I mean, maybe if people knew who's Steve Jobs, they wouldn't like Federer in there and not appreciated who he was, and maybe he couldn't do his technology thing to make him the greatest player. And I'm just saying, it looks like him. I don't know. It reminds me of him and Charles Manson. I look at him, his face is thinned out. It looks like he's taken the pentagram thing, whatever it's called, the Star of David off his forehead. But I don't know. Maybe it was him all along, down staying in my friend's place, sort of spying on them or something in the house. It was such a weird little house. He just sort of lived behind a shop or something. It was a strange place. But anyway, I won't give anyone's identity away. It was just an observation, the way he talked and all that, and the way he disappeared like that, tragically, with all that money. And why would you die of cancer if people recover every day from it, and he's that wealthy and he can't get help in this day and age? It just doesn't make sense to me. So anyway, just an observation. I hope no one's offended, but I think it's better to be honest, honestly.